Shortly, the great lights will illume our lodge. Not just the burning tapers of wax, but the burning hearts of patriots. For tonight we witness the great light of loyalty to country and the long shadow cast by recreancy to that responsibility. We are in Richmond, Virginia, 1784. Several heroes from the recent war traveled to this fledgling city. What is not known is why do they travel here. They come without fanfare, without men-at-arms, virtually unannounced, but to the master of Richmond Lodge, who quietly spread the word among its brothers. Tonight is not only a meeting of men, but a meeting of destinies. In true Masonic fashion, British countrymen, formerly enemy combatants, will share cordial fraternity with the newest citizens of the world, the Americans.
The first time we shot the degree, it was very much the way we do it for stage. We went into a lodge room and we did it that way. It's not really the best place to do it though, because we have to have camera angles to get the best and most dramatic effect out of every actor. We can do that in these studios here at High Output, where we've erected a 1784 replica Masonic Lodge.
We're looking at a very interesting time period in history. Obviously, life was so different then, and lodges were different. So we designed a lodge that had that atmosphere and environment that Masons of the time may have experienced. And it's a little bit of a challenge. People initially, in your mind, when you think of 1784, your immediate instinct is to think, 200 years old. But in 1784, the building may have only been 5 years old. But it still needs to have that feeling, that different environment. It was a lot of fun to design a whole different period. We've designed a couple of temples recently, so changing it up a little was a great design experience.
As the director of photography, I have to look at the project with the understanding of how it's going to look. Really, that's my job, is how the film is going to look. So that involves lighting, it involves what camera is going to be used, it involves what lens is going to be used, it involves how the images are going to be framed. At that time there was no electricity, so most light either came naturally from outside or from candles and lanterns. So we've tried to create that sort of feel with a sort of candlelit, low light level mood.
We cannot leave behind the unsavory memories of treachery.
My involvement with the costuming starts really early on in the production of the degree. So we are visiting different valleys, so potentially we're sourcing costumes from them if they might have a strong costume department in a particular time period. So in this case, special thanks to Dayton and Cincinnati for lending us some fantastic costumes that made it into the film. Each time we costume a degree, it's a different historical time period, so there's a different type of research that goes into it. The 20th degree, it's been one of my favorites so far. I have a fondness for the colonial time period, and what makes this one different, I would say, is that a lot of the other degrees, they take place in biblical times. They might be robes, things like that. For the colonial degree, we really have to get a lot of well-fitting costumes. There's a lot of pieces, a lot of tailoring, and the color palette that we wanted to use for this degree was very specific. We really wanted it to feel very much in line with the mood lighting, and with the set, it wanted to be something that felt darker and in line with what you see Washington wearing in the classic Gilbert Stuart portrait, where he is in the black velvet. So a lot of the costumes for this degree, they were really designed around that idea of a darker color palette and this sort of more muted, subtle styles that came into fashion in the 1780s.
The 20th degree is one that so many people are so emotionally wound up in that it really had to be absolutely perfect. We find that, fourth degree, the cast was far more intimate. It was smaller, it was tighter. This group of guys from all over the jurisdiction have really come together. That's made quite a difference.
We literally traveled across the 15 states of our region to find those actors that fit the roles in this play. We think we did. It's more expensive. It's a little bit more time consuming. But when you watch the movie, I think you'll get why we did it.
I think that the opportunity that we provide in doing this for the men that act in it and for our brothers really strikes home to what we are all about as a fraternity. We come together, we do great things for each other, and we learn great things.
The guys we're working with here on this shoot are from 9 different states, and it's been wonderful just to hear how different people do different interpretations of our work, share different ideas, and I think that's really one of the amazing things about the Scottish Rite for me.
The best part about this for me is meeting all these guys from different valleys and getting to know them and know we all have the same warped sense of humor.
What do you mean?
It's important to make this degree of video, one, because of its large size. A lot of our smaller valleys don't have the ability to bring this type of thing to the stage. But I think more importantly, it's the intensity of the message. We really find here a core value or an expression of our core values that I think needs to be preserved.
I'm hoping that as you witness this degree, there's a new light shown upon different aspects of the script that you may never have thought of before. For me, the most important core values that we touch on in this degree are integrity and devotion to country. And we see those so clearly because we have George Washington, who stuck with his conviction, and we have Benedict Arnold, who let his personality and his own greed get in his way.
Benedict Arnold had no integrity, but the juxtaposition with George Washington is fascinating because George Washington was not only a man of integrity, he was a man who understood value.
This violent, forsworn Mason, who led me to do what I did. Benedict Arnold. Initially, I was portraying him as the victim. And slowly I began to evolve the character into something much different. And I find the role to be incredibly difficult. It is very dramatic. It requires me to become something that I'm completely not. And by immersing myself into the character, I've learned a lot about me, a lot about integrity. I've learned a lot about what it takes to be a true man and Mason.
Throughout his life, the opportunities that Washington came to have, he believed in divine providence. And I believe that the circumstances of me having this role are very humbling because of what George Washington means to Masonry and what George Washington means to this country.
So mote it be! So mote it be!
That's a wrap, guys.
Brenda had the check over.
I feel amazing. It was a good one. It was a really good one. A lot of work and a lot of talented people all around me.
This particular degree is really special. I've done a bunch of these degrees. I've filmed a bunch of these degrees, but this one it really touches me. So I think it's a great one. And I'm hoping that people will enjoy it.
This has been one of the most exciting things I have ever done. It has been one of the top productions we have ever done. I think you're really going to love it.